Hi Chris.
Hi.
On your introductory video, you touched very briefly on EFT. Could you tell us what it is and how it works?
EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's a form of what they call energy medicine. And it works on the meridian system in the body, which are like the channels that the energy flows through. And we tap on acupuncture points on the body, and EFT has been described as acupuncture without needles. And the way that we tap on the points is with the fingertips. So we tap on the face and the body, and these are connected to certain meridians in the body, and they help to unblock whatever is there that's standing in the way of the free flow of energy. The way our energy gets blocked is often emotionally, and a lot of this comes from our early years where we go through different experiences, and when we go through those experiences we feel certain emotions, and some of them can be, quite distressing. Others we just cope with quite easily and they don't take any toll on us. But those that do, sometimes for children a lot of things are quite traumatic. We probably wouldn't call them traumatic when we're an adult, but for a child a lot of things are quite upsetting. And sometimes if we don't or are not able to process that, the energy stays stuck in the meridian system. So EFT helps to shift it. Also helps to shift negative beliefs and beliefs that no longer serve us, that stand in the way of either our success or of achieving what we want to achieve and being who we were meant to be.
In your one-to-one practice, would you use it with other techniques or on its own?
I would sometimes do both. A lot of people now are very familiar with EFT and the way that I work with it, so quite often people ask for EFT. I could include it in the hypnotherapy, the psychotherapy, the metaphysical teachings and metaphysical practice, visualization. It works very well with any of those methods. But sometimes people just want an EFT session, and we spend practically the whole session on the tapping on the meridian system.
I understand you also use it with groups. How would that work? Surely everyone has different issues.
That's a question that everybody asks, because it seems very strange that you can get one person tapping on an issue and everyone benefits from it, but it actually has a name. It's called borrowing benefits, and it is amazingly effective when it's done in a group. I do run workshops with groups, and usually we take one person and everybody has a turn, but while we're focusing on that person's issues, everyone's tapping along with them. And even if it's not the same issue, I believe that we're all connected in some way, and basically all our emotions are the same. So when we're tapping on all those different points, they each relate to a different emotion. So somewhere along the line we're going to be able to feel a similar feeling to what somebody's going through, even if the issue isn't the same. It is amazing the effects that it can have.
And can you show us the points that we need to tap on?
Yes, of course. There are a lot of different ways of tapping. I just have the system that I was taught, but you'll find that people tap on various points in the body, and that's okay. We start with a sequence so that it's easy to follow, but you don't necessarily have to do it in this order. It just is just a method that I use. So we start with what we call the karate chop. When we think about issuing a karate chop, it's this part of the hand here. So it's between the base of the little finger and the wrist. And what we do is we tap with the fingertips, simply because we're tapping on the acupuncture points. And EFT has been called acupuncture without needles, and that's what we're doing. So we're tapping here, and usually we use all our fingers so that we cover the whole area here, and we just tap here powerfully enough to make a difference, you know, not too gently, but not enough to actually cause us to hurt ourselves in any way. And as we're tapping there, we say a particular statement according to what's bothering us, and this will come later in the full demonstration. We repeat that 3 times, and then we're speaking the statement all the time, and we're following that statement with a self-acceptance statement. That's very important, because what we're actually saying is, I've got this problem, but I'm not the problem. I'm okay. I accept myself in spite of having this problem. And it's very, very important, because a lot of the time we beat ourselves up because we have the problem. So it's really important for us to accept ourselves. Then we're going to move to the top of the head, and we just tap very gently around the top of the head with our fingertips. Then we move to the eyebrow, and it's the start of the eyebrow. We just tap here very gently. And again, the side of the eye, not back on the temple, but on the bone at the side of the eye, just there. Again, not too hard, but enough to make an impression. Then we're going to a very delicate area, which is just below the eye. So we want to be a little bit careful here. But again, enough to make an impression, but not to hurt ourselves. Then we're going below the nose. Just here, it all looks very strange, doesn't it? But it's doing a lot of good. And then we're going to come down here. You can tap along with me if you want to. And we're going to do the collarbone. Now, that's a bit difficult sometimes for people to actually find the actual spot. So what I've found is helpful is to make a fist and just to tap along there, and you will find that you do reach that point. And then we go under the arm, which is about 3 inches down from under the arm, and we tap there. And then we do another round, and we go round again. I'm going to do it very quickly this time, all the way around again. And then we just rest. Now, usually what we do before we begin to tap is to take a measurement on how intense the feeling or the emotion is. In other words, how much it's worrying us or concerning us. And we do that because then when we've done the tapping, you can measure again. So the way we measure is to go from 0 to 10, 10 being the highest and 0 being the lowest. And if it's very intense, it might be as high as a 9 or a 10. You just think of just off the top of your head. Don't spend too much time thinking about it. Usually you just get the correct number for yourself. If it's bothering you, but it's not that intense, it might be a 5 or a 6. And if it's only bothering you a little bit, it might be a 3 or a 4. And the idea is to get that intensity down, and that's what tapping does initially. It helps to relax us, and that has to be a really good thing. And then we can start dealing with whatever is going on. But they're the first movements of the tapping sequence.
What about giving us a demonstration on something that most people would be able to relate to?
Yes, I'd be really happy to do that. I think what we need to do is to put that on another video, because this is just telling people how to tap. But what I'll do is I'll go through the whole sequence from beginning to end, and we may even look at another sequence with the fingertips as well, including that. So we'll make it a very general video. Something that most people can relate to is a worry or an anxiety about something. We all go through those times when something worries us or disturbs us. So that's what I'll be doing. So if you'd like to just look for that on the site, you'll find that video, and we can do the whole sequence with you.